Alright, what's up folks? Welcome to the official Magic the Gathering Arena channel. I am PowrDragn. You usually find me over on my page on YouTube posting Magic content every day, but today we're going to be here talking about Orzhov Angels, or as I like to call it, Dark Angels. Mostly because we want to try out some cool cards that we don't get to play with that often. One of the main ones we're going to be playing is Archangel of Wrath, because this can be a removal card, it has lifelink, it's one of the better angels we can play with right now. But even a more interesting card I want to look at is something called Legions to Ashes. This is a new card from Brothers War that actually lets you remove any type of card in play. So let's see how these combine to get us through our deck today. Alright, so one of the big benefits of playing white and black is you get access to flyers, which is very good, and you get some of the best removal, and that's the two big things that this deck's going to be based around. So starting at the top, we're going to play a couple of Cut Down. This is good in the early goings, but not so good in the late game. We are going to try out one Destroy Evil, because it does have some flexibility to kill big creatures and enchantments. And since we're playing angels, one of the best angels we can play is Giada. Right now, it's the only 2-mana angel we could play. But the cool part about Giada is she gives you extra mana to use on casting future angels, and when those angels come into play, you get an additional +1/+1 on them for each angel that you control. So that's actually super awesome. We have a couple of removal cards in Go for the Throat and Infernal Grasp. We have 4 Tenacious Underdog. Now, before you say anything, they're not angels, I totally understand, but we do need some reasonable cards to play early to let us get to our bigger angels later in the game. Then we have 4 Inspiring Overseer. Not the flashiest card, but being able to draw a card and gain a life is actually really strong. And being able to play this after Giada means you get a 3/2, which isn't bad at all with flying for 3 mana. Then we're trying Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor. Now, again, not an angel, but very useful for this list in the sense that when we're attacking, if we connect, we get to pay a life, draw a card. This is great because, again, we have so many ways to gain life, we don't really care that much about giving up a life point. And late in the game, if we just have nothing else to do, we can discard the cards in our hand for 7 mana and maybe get to play something off the opponent's library. Now we're going to try out one Legion to Ashes, mostly because it's a sorcery, but it does allow us to exile, not even remove, any non-land permanent. That's very big because that means planeswalkers, any artifacts, enchantments. It's very flexible. And if we happen to remove something that has token copies, then remove all those tokens with the same name as well. Then we've got 4 Archangel of Wrath. This card's amazing. Even though we are just playing black and white, we are going to play some lands that let us get red as well, so we can use both kicker costs on this. But we get to shoot something for 2 for each time we kick it, and we also get to gain life from that damage that we're dealing because the card itself has lifelink, which is great. Then we have a couple of Wandering Emperors for removal, but also can make extra bodies if we need them. We are playing a couple copies of Shieldred because combined with some of our other cards like Inspiring Overseer or even Gix, when we're drawing cards, we also get to gain life, which is great, and this punishes the opponent, so sometimes you can win games without even having to attack if things get too gummed up. Then our biggest angels we're playing Liza, or Lisa, I believe is pronounced, Forgotten Archangel, a big 4/5 that when our creatures die, they come back to our hand, which is always great. And then we have a Sanctuary Warden, which can get us extra bodies as well as draw us some cards. And then our last angel we have in the deck is from Brothers War. It is Steel Seraph. This card is great because you can play it early and get a whole plethora of abilities, whether that's Flying, Lifelink, or Vigilance as you need it, or late in the game would be a big 5/4, and that's pretty powerful. So this card's going to be very flexible. And even with something like Liza, you could actually play this for 3. Then if it dies, this will go back to your hand, and then you can recast it for 6. So that's actually very powerful as well. So lots of fun little interactions in this list. As far as lands, we're playing an Iganjo, 4 Plains, 3 Swamps, 1 Takenuma, 4 Caves of Koilos, 4 Shattered Sanctum, 4 Battlefield Forge, and 4 Sundown Pass. So nothing too fancy, just lots of fun, good stuff here, but let's go play some games, and then at the end of the video, we'll talk about what we learned from those games and if we want to make any changes to the deck list. Alright, let's go for it. Let's see what the opponent's got here. Great. Alright. Not anticipating this surviving very long, but we'll see. What does the opponent have for us? They have a Cut Down. Fair enough. We didn't have any other angels to really take advantage of that for multiple turns there, so it's not like the worst thing, all things considered. Let's go ahead and play this. See if it resolves. Mostly because it flies. Alright. Igancho's not bad. Not great. This is one of the things you run into sometimes, though, when a deck like this, you're kind of geared to deal with creature decks, so when you're not running into the creature decks, it's going to be a little rough sometimes. Alright. Sure enough. Gonna attack for 4. Makes sense. Yep. And we're just going to go ahead and play an underdog. And then we're going to pass. Now, we have the ability to kill a creature here, so we're not going to worry about it too much. And we have a card that doesn't do anything in cut down, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. I mean, you can still crew your... Okay, I'm surprised they didn't crew the Bank Buster and attack us, which makes me wonder if they just have another cut down or something.
Mysteries. I've come for answers.
Alright.
One of your friends has to leave.
Well, I was going to do something else there, but this is actually not a bad play at all. We can kick it, and we'll just kill a Liliana.
I'll be back.
All right.
With friends.
So that could have gone worse. Invoke Despair, sure. I mean, we're kind of just trying to outrace the opponent's removal at this point. Which I don't know that we can, but, you know, gotta try. Hey, if they make a 2-3, we actually have something we can target with the cut down. That's kind of nice. I thought this cut down was going to go to race this match. More proof that sometimes you just never know. Alright. That went through. Try to play this underdog. Opponent is going to draw. And we're going to gamble that they don't have a cut down. Okay, they don't. Excellent.
Wallow in darkness then.
Okay, not bad. We found a land. We got the underdog rocking. So this is okay. I mean, I don't know what our odds are from here, but this is not bad, all things considered. Because this is the type of matchup that's not really good for this deck, if we're being honest. Now, one of the things we do have going for us is that if we can play the Overseer, we can get to where we can start blocking and just recasting it. So that's not bad.
Hope you're ready for some mind games.
And the opponent still had a lot of life here, so we got a long way to go before this one's over. I'm not even sure, truthfully, how this one's going to progress. So it's going to be a bit tough. Let's go ahead and see what we've got here first. Take a look at our card and see what we're doing. Okay, we don't mind that. That's okay. Let's go ahead and attack. We'll play an underdog. Now, unfortunately, the opponent's not quite low enough, and since they can crew the Bank Buster here, we're not really going to get through with that underdog. So at best, we're just hoping to maybe have it go back to our hand, maybe get a card. Opponent can attack for 1 here safely. And the worst part is I don't think we can afford to attack the opponent for 4. We probably have to attack Kaito, I would think. Now, this is something. Do we just trade the underdog? I wonder if the opponent just has another trespasser. I mean, we have another underdog, so we don't care that much, but maybe that's the situation here. And if not, the underdog's just going to go back to our hand. So we don't hate that. Alright, they're drawing.
Now this is a juicy secret.
And it's good for us that we can play an underdog and still play a Wandering Emperor, so that's pretty sweet. Alright, so we're going to lose some life. Oh! Oh! Really? That adds a different wrinkle, doesn't it? Now what if they have a Wandering Emperor? I mean, if they do, they do, I guess. Alright, nothing happens there so far. Still nothing happens.
I'm used to
Okay.
being uninvited.
I guess we just play that underdog they know about. And we can try to hold out a little bit on this until maybe we get a red land that we can shoot 2 things or pick off some tokens with. Opponent's going to gain some life, though, because they are drawing a card here. Alright, they're down to 2 live cards. That's a problematic live card, but it exists. They're going to crew Bankbuster here and try to get in for a bunch. I'm really going to hope they don't have a Make Disappear. That's kind of what this is going to come down to here. Are they only attacking with Bankbuster? Nope, they're getting in with all of it. Alright, so let's see. We will block. I don't think there's a real reason to not take or not block some damage here. Then we'll see if they have it. If they do, it opens up this to be able to just pick off tokens, and we're kind of okay with that too. Or maybe they just have another Shieldred.
Ready to lose.
I mean, that's possible too. But if so, we then have enough life that we're kind of okay with it. Alright, it wasn't that either. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just a land. But we did get what we wanted out of this. So that's what we waited for. Kick and kick. So we're going to pick off both of those. And then +1 this.
We've got the edge in this fight.
And I guess we attack. I mean, we're just trading 7 for 7 at this point. It's kind of silly. Because, I mean, they're going to attack the plains. I guess I should have left at least 2 back to attempt to block the Flesh Gorger, but meh. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, kill the Wandering Emperor. That's fine. Now we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not 16. We got 13. Let's go ahead and pay one of these with the Blitz. I think we go ahead and attack. We'll play a land. I'm trying to think if there's a reason we don't want to play this underdog here, but I can't think of one. Actually, nah, even then, any removal we get is going to be fine here. At least if it kills the thing. Okay, it doesn't. We drew a land. It didn't matter. But the Angels might have come through here. Yep, that's going to do it. Alright, let's keep this one. Start there and see what we can turn this into. Okay, let's see. Lots of just control-y cards. Okay. Well, we could exile something here if we want to keep them off of mana, which might be the best play. Since we don't... If we had double black, I would really consider doing that to get extra cards here, but I think we just do that. And just make do with what we can here. Alright, they're drawing, which might be a good sign. Nah, they had land already. Didn't really matter. Alright, well, we tried our best to play around things. Ultimately did not matter. Let's go ahead and play this. Mostly because if our board gets swept, we'd like to lose our weaker creatures and set up for our better plays. Alright, opponent takes 3. And then what happens to us here? Probably something bad. Okay, depopulate, which we knew was a possibility here. Still did not find that other black land, which is kind of all we're waiting on here. Giada, a little bit backwards. But we'll see what's up. Okay. Do we get it now? Okay, we found it, so that's cool. Let's go with Gix. Don't want to play this yet, because it's going to be one of our bigger creatures that maybe we can close the clock with. And here, if the opponent has Wandering Emperor, they will be able to get rid of the Overseer, but not Giada, since Giada doesn't tap.
Run away. You'll be safe.
Alright.
This is what
We'll
you get for hurting my
pay life, get a card. Alright, we found another land, and it's a swamp. Kind of just want to draw creatures at this point. Like, we need things to just keep the pressure up on the opponent. That's sort of where we're at. Farewell. Alright, that's a thing that happened.
Show them how we greet our
Okay,
enemies.
what can we do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite enough. Alright, I guess we just go for 6. I mean, that's what we saved it for. We'll see if it turns into anything. I mean, they might just farewell again. Who knows? Alright, they're digging for something. Now, good news is we can shoot the 1/1, so we don't have to worry about that so much. Urza, on the other hand, could be a real problem. And that could be a dude we are not going to enjoy.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Oh boy, that's not helping us at all. And that's not to say they don't have an Iganjo here to kill our Seraph, so that would suck, but there's really nothing we can do about it. Sort of one of those ones where you say if you got it, you got it. I mean, game's over for us, I guess. We drew as much land as the control deck. That's not where you want to be. Yeah, I guess we just go for it. What do we got to lose, right? If they sweep the board, they sweep the board. Game's over. Alright, here's hoping. Maybe their hand's a bunch of land? Nope, it's a bank buster to go find something. Yep. I wouldn't be mad if their hand was just a bunch of Wandering Emperors, because a bunch of creatures with Vigilance, they can't stop. Okay, now that we have our own Wandering Emperor, this is actually important, because it gives us something to do if the opponent does indeed play something like Farewell. So we're going to go ahead and attack for 7. In the air. Looks like we connect. I want to play a land in the turn. Alright, they're digging still. If we can pull this off, this is huge. When you're talking about an outright control deck, and we don't really have control deck answers. That can block a flyer. It has reach, so that's pretty disappointing, but is relevant. Sadly. Sure. We're gonna try to cast this. Okay, negate works. So we weren't gonna get that through anyway. Never had a shot. Opponent's at 5. If we were to play Underdog, Underdog would be able to attack. They could block there, they block here, they only take 2. It's probably not even worth it in case they only have a Wandering Emperor. So what we're going to do here is attack, give this Vigilance. Gonna attack with both. Because right now they have to block the bigger one. Yep, that makes sense. Hopefully. So that way we can draw a card. By attacking with it, we would have opened it to where that could be exiled. And the opponent would also have been able to... Oh, that's a card. Would have been able to gain life off of the ability from the Wandering Emperor as well. So that's something we were avoiding by not attacking there. But now that we're holding this, like, do we just use this to try to kill Urza? I think we pass, maybe? No, let's just do it. No, let's pass. Let's pass. Because if they have something, they just have something, right? Because now they know we have the underdog. So, like, they're probably looking for Farewell exactly. Another Bank Buster. Okay, now if they draw here, let's see how much mana they're going to have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, they still have 7. So even if they find it, they can still cast it. Thirst for Knowledge. Okay, now we'll kill Urza. Because this was making their spells cheaper. So now if they find it, they won't have enough mana. Alright. So I've got 4 right now. Yep. That should be okay. Yeah, now they're going to thirst. Alright, cool. We got there. Wow. I mean, I guess unless they have a Fading Hope to bounce something here, possibly. Oh, they do still have 2 mana. Well, actually more than that. But they said good game. We got it. That's great. Alright, we'll go first. We'll keep this one. Seems reasonable. I think the real question when you get hands like this is just, are we going to play the Giada or are we going to play an underdog first? And some of it comes down to what the opponent's first land is that they play, to give us at least an idea, right? If this is something like just an island, then maybe we consider, okay. In that case, I think I would like to try maybe, I mean, this is a flyer. Yeah, I'm going to go with this. Now, there is a chance they're going to play a counter next, or play mana open so they can counter something, but they're probably just going to kill Giada here, I would think. Yeah, and Cut Down would have got either of our creatures, but we have enough mana in hand that we're not really that concerned about it. And with Takenuma, we could get it back anyway, if we really want to. But our plan might be just try to work these underdogs for a second, and then see what we can get out of the Archangel of Wrath. Harvester. Sounds like a plan. This is intriguing. I think we use this. I wish Arena wouldn't have tapped both my black mana, but that's okay. I think we're going to go ahead and just play this instead. And now we can at least keep up the pressure for the most part. Now, they could have, like, Brotherhood's End, where they deal 3 to everything, and that would be unfortunate, but I think we're kind of okay for the moment. We can also play this and kick it for 1, which is what I think we're going to do. Just kick it with black mana, I think, here, so we don't take any damage. Well, I guess that's our only choice, honestly. So, yeah, it didn't have the other lands out. Shoot this for 3, or for 2. So we'll gain 2, since this Angel also has lifelink. Alright, don't want to kill one of those. Makes sense. Then we get attacked for 3. Now, the best part about having some extra life is now we can use this ability on the underdog and not worry as much about taking damage. Actually works out pretty nicely for us. Ooh, a Steel Seraph. I don't necessarily want to cast Steel Seraph here, though, because we already have lifelink on our flyer. So I would probably just do this and dig for a land so we can get this to a big 5/4. Excellent. Another interesting thing here is that we are pretty sure they're going to be playing Go for the Throat. I mean, and if they do, they're not going to be able to kill a Steel Seraph. So we're going to attack with these and just say, you know what? If you block, you block. If you don't, you don't. We're okay with that. All right, they discarded nothing, so they like their hand here, obviously. Opponent's at 8. That's 5 in the air. 6, 7, 8. If we, you know what? We're just gonna take the damage. I mean, I assume they're gonna try to kill a creature, but if they don't, we have lethal, so we at least have to force them to do something. It was Invoke Despair. That's fine. We'll get rid of this. That doesn't really bother us too much here. We have multiple things they need to kill or deal with. Which, not to say, I mean, with 2 mana, they can kill the Archangel of Wrath multiple ways. But we know our turn is really just to play Steel Seraph. Okay, well, if they're tapping, unless they got a cut down. Okay, that's it. That's game. Because they know we have this. So yeah, we just roll this out. Pay the extra costs. And attack for 9. Alright, that one went pretty well. We do have some scenarios where we need double black for something like Shieldred, so I think we just get rid of this instead. And that's one thing too, mulliganing is actually one of the skills you probably want to work on to get better at Magic, because I think we don't talk about it enough, but a lot of decisions are made in your opening hand on what you're willing to risk mana-wise, so something to think about. Alright, so like we said, we're going to go ahead and keep, and we're going to remove the Battlefield Forge, put that back into the library, and we'll just see where this goes. Now, I will say, if this hand had a thing we wanted to cast on turn 1, then I probably would do it a little bit differently. But I think this is fine for now. And this leaves us the option to play Giada or Underdog without taking any damage here. So I'm going to go ahead and go for Giada. Even though Giada does die to pretty much all the red damage spells here, Tenacious Underdog does as well. They're not killing our Giada. Why is that? I mean, okay, we'll try to turn this into a 4/4. I mean, I guess they have something good that kills this. I mean, if they have something that kills an artifact, it kills it. Oh, Valor Stance. Well, that works too. Alright. Solid choice, opponent. Solid choice. I didn't see the green mana coming. That's neat. Here's an interesting thing here. I think we're just going to attack with Giada. And then I actually want to tap Giada for a mana here. Even though normally you want to have it untapped. I think by tapping this way, we actually create a situation where now, because we have Giada, we can leave 2, because this gets reduced by 1 for each legendary creature we control. So because we still have Giada, we need 2 regular mana we can spend. We could leave Giada untapped, but unfortunately we can only use her mana to cast Angels, and that's not any good. A second Facebreaker. Alright, well, we at least get to kill the first one. So we keep them from generating extra treasure, which is what these do. And then we have a kill spell for the other one, so that's pretty nice. Unfortunately, don't have the mana to play this with the blitz cost of 4 and this, because that would take 6 mana, and we only have 5. So we're going to attack for 5 in the air. And then we're going to go ahead and play this Underdog and wait. And we do have a Go for the Throat that can kill this other Facebreakers. That's pretty nice. Or something bigger they play here that might have haste or something. Wedding Announcement. Not really a threat to us at the moment. Opponent is attacking. We do not find it worth blocking. They do get a 1/1 to block with there that we can't do anything about. They do get to chump block with it. Chump block meaning they just get to block with something smaller for no benefit other than preventing damage. And I'm going to hold the land and pretend we have something in hand, since they've seen us play removal spells each of the last couple turns. Or removal effects, I should say. Now, Halana Lena does block flyers. That is a real problem, believe it or not. However, if we attack with everything, they do have to block, and Shieldred does a pretty good job of cleaning things up. And they probably want to block 3 damage instead of 2. Yep, so we get to keep Giada anyway. And then we're just going to go with the Shieldred here. And end the turn. So now they've got to deal with Shieldred. Or gain some life. Yep, that's going to be it. So yeah, we're not going to block the Taurens, I don't think. I mean, I guess we can. Their hand's empty. We wouldn't lose anything. Yep, another Giada does nothing. Opponent says GG. And we just pass. And then they draw their upkeep and die to Shieldred. Awesome. Alright, so that was a surprising amount of fun, to be honest. Like, playing Angels and Flyers is always cool. But the fact that we actually were able to hold up against some of the creature decks, but able to get some really strong and tough wins against the control decks is really nice. Because you're always looking for that type of flexibility. That's what you want. So it's actually really cool, but let's talk about what we want to change in the list. The list actually worked really well, but if you notice here, I went ahead and put in a second copy of Legions to Ashes over that Destroy Evil that we had in here previously. I just think the flexibility of this card is so good to include, especially since there's just so many big cards in Brothers War that are very powerful. You want to have an option to get rid of stuff regardless of what type of card it is. But otherwise, I think this deck checks out just as it is. But if you want to see other fun deck lists, check me out here on YouTube at PowrDragn. Also, while you're here, remember to click the like, subscribe button so you don't miss anything that shows up here on the Magic the Gathering Arena channel. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.